Another day, another act of Muslim terrorism. We see it all the time, we hear it all the time. Since 9/11 there's been almost 30,000 acts of Muslim terrorism. Yet our political elites and the mainstream media try and sweep it under the carpet and say, we've got nothing to worry about these guys, they're lovely guys, they just like to have a little bit of a dress up, but they're really good blokes, you know. What absolute bullshit. What occurred in Minto was an act of terrorism. An innocent Australian walking his dog, minding his own business, attacked by a Muslim refugee on welfare, bludging off us, inspired by this book of hate, the world's most hateful book that's inspired more murder than any other book or failed ideology in the history of the world. It's soaked, this book is soaked with blood. And there it is up there, these good looking blokes, these lunatics have got the Quran up there. It's not Jamie Oliver's cookbook, because they're inspired to hate, they're inspired to murder. And with a recent announcement made by the Islamic State to go out and murder Australians, stab them in their yards, and that's exactly what occurred, sort of thing. He was stabbed in the front yard of somebody's house, go out and seek them and strike them down and blow up their CG and the MCG and blow up the beach at Bondi, blow up Bankstown, you know. Goodness me, isn't it enough? Isn't it enough that the way that these sort of people carry on, what more do we need to say that it's a religion of insanity? There's mental illness here. They try and write it off and say, oh, they're mentally ill, you know, they weren't thinking right. Well, of course they're not thinking right, because they're inspired by hatred. They're inspired by a book of hate to go out and murder in the name of a God. Well, that's mentally ill. I reckon that's fair enough to say that's mentally ill. But what happened in Minto, the sort of like people that came to the rescue of Wayne, the three guys, they're heroes, you know, picking up fence palings and whacking this Khan on the head and keeping him sort of like busy while Wayne was sort of like, you know, he lost 3 fingers in the attack. You know, absolutely disgraceful, you know, but I don't know what to say about Islam anymore, that I just don't like it. It's not a peaceful religion. It's a hateful ideology. And it has no place in Australia. And Pauline Hanson came out today and said all Muslim immigration needs to be banned. Absolutely ban all Muslim immigration. We need to go further than that and close down all the mosques until they renounce terrorism. And we need to start repatriating these people too, offering them money to go back. They can go back to wherever they came from. This is not their home. They're busting Centrelink and they're filling our jails. But what happened in Minto? Khan was inspired by the Quran, inspired by the recent message that the Islamic State made, saying to its followers in Australia, go out and strike fear into the heart of the unbeliever. We're all sick and tired of it. You know, nothing's going to change, Australia. This is a message to the people out there. Nothing's going to change until you stop voting for the major parties. The greatest thing that's happened in the last 18 years is Pauline Hanson coming back into Australian politics and being in Parliament. She's already done a lot of good, and she's going to continue to even do more good. But yesterday, Minto, terrorist attack, you know, it can't be discounted. Somebody is in a critical condition in hospital. I hope Wayne pulls through, mate. I really hope that the spirit of the good bloke up there, the God that doesn't strike fear into the heart of the unbeliever and glorify and promote violence, I hope you're all right. And those 3 guys are heroes for coming to the aid of Wayne. But, you know, these Muslims should not be in Australia. No more Muslim refugees. The world's sick of it. The madness that unfolded in Minto yesterday, it had everything to do with this Quran, because there's too many verses in this book calling for Muslims to behave in such a way that is contrary to any civilised mind. To go out there and strike fear and terror into the heart of the unbeliever in the name of their God. Well, this book does need to have an inquiry, because if they did put it on trial, the world would see that it's a book of hate speech. But until next time, take care. Remember, don't vote for the major parties. Don't be bound by political correctness. And speak out against Islam. Islam is a religion that does not belong in Australia. Thank you.